What's up, guys? How's it going? It's how's it growing, eh? OG Scotty B here, and I got a quick little. Well, I don't know how quick it's gonna be, but I got a story here. This happened This is when I got stabbed. This is one of the times I've been stabbed a few times just throughout my adventures, and this is one of them. This is probably the worst one, I guess. So I was living in this hotel, and this guy moved in he'd just gotten out, and he was a pretty big dealer. Well, whatever, he was bigger than me. So, and he kind of had a sweet thing for my girlfriend at the time. But I used to score dope off him every once in a while, and I remember I went there and I got some dope off him, and I noticed he had these two-way radios, right? And I'm like, I had this guy that would come and find me downtown every once in a while, this straight guy, right? And he'd find me, and he'd pay me, and we'd go off and do these scores, and he'd already usually have them cased out and stuff. It's just he needed a second hand, really, to help me, and a guy with balls, because like I actually took a hit once for him and ended up doing some time, and he gave me money and whatever. Just not to say his name. I wasn't going to say his name anyways, but I went in and wrote a statement saying that it was just me and whatever. It wasn't anything to do with him, just to keep because he didn't have a record, and I had a record a mile long. So I sacrificed, the OG sacrificed himself for the good of the criminal enterprise. So anyways, this guy would come up to me and he'd find me downtown, and we'd go do a score. So we did things. Well, I don't even really want to say because I never got caught for it, but it was stuff to do with like cars and stuff, like on new cars. Anyways, so I borrowed these two-way radios, and we went out and we did this score, and it was kind of a unusual one. My buddy it's kind of funny actually. My buddy was redoing his house. He was like renovating, which is what I do now. But he was doing that to his house. So he cased out these other houses that were being built, and we literally went in there and took everything, like all the cabinetry and all that kind of stuff. So he rented a truck for it, and we used these radios, and we got everything, like hot water heaters, just like all this kind of fucking housing shit, right? And he just put it in his house and then sold his house. So it was a kind of funny little score, but we did this, and so we used the radios just to call and talk to each other and whatever. And so during that, he left the radio in the back of the truck, and we piled all this shit. So it was way in the back of the truck, and then we just had it stored. So after that happened, all these I come in, and I go score dope on him again, and the guy comes up and he's like, "Oh, where's my radio?" I'm like, yeah, I got it. The next day, and about the sixth day this happens. He's like, "Where's my fucking radio?" And I'm like, "Fuck, man, I got it." And he jumps up and kind of pushes me down, and I'm like, "Listen, I got your radio." And then I explained to him, "It's in the back of a fucking truck. We gotta unload this shit. We're just waiting for a bit, blah, 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 blah." And so we sit down and continue to weigh out what I'm buying off him, and all of a sudden I feel he just pushed me just in the stomach, right? And all of a sudden I feel like this worm down between my legs, like, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I lift my shirt up, and I'm like, "Fuck, I think you just stabbed me." He's like, "No." And I'm like, "Yeah, you did," because you don't feel it if you don't notice and your adrenaline's up, you don't feel the blade go in and out. Once you feel it like about a minute, maybe 30 seconds, a minute later, you start feeling it So, and that's what was happening. And he hit me pretty good. There was shit coming out of my stomach, and aside from just blood. So I'm like, "Holy fuck, he did stab me." So he fucking throws me like this big bag of dope. And I'm like, "Call the ambulance." He's like, no. He just threw me a big bag of dope. So I'm like, "Fuck." So I walk downstairs to to the manager of the hotel room where I'm staying, and I'm like, hey, and I'm holding my guts, and I'm like, can you call the ambulance? And he's like, yeah, I didn't get along with this guy. He's like, you call the fucking ambulance, what for? And I'm like, I think I just got stabbed. Actually, I did just get stabbed. And the guy's like, fuck. And he starts freaking out more than I was. I was kind of in shock, but I was pretty mellow. I realized what happened, and I just was, whatever, it is what it is. I fucking hold my guts and whatever. So I got him to call the ambulance, and I must have waited 20, almost 30 minutes for this ambulance to come. And they took me to St. Paul's Hospital, which, you know, that's a scary fucking place in itself. I think bodies go disappearing from that fucking place, man. It's creepy. Like, seriously fucking creepy place. There's a big fucking creepy church right beside it too, man. Like, I swear to God, they got rituals going on in that shit. I know it. But anyways, they took me to St. Paul's Hospital and stitched me up, and they actually put me up and they stitched me up, and so I got a big scar going up my stomach, and I got a gut. I'm a big fat guy now because otherwise I just show you. I want to show you my big fat. I don't think it's very pleasant to look at. But anyways, yeah, that's a little story about when I got stabbed downtown East Side, and yeah, it was just like a misunderstanding with somebody. I didn't really have a beef with him or anything, and he completely apologized to me and fucking gave me all kinds of dope when I was done. When I came out of the hospital, I don't think he charged me for dope for the next month, and I fucking damn well took advantage of it, I'm telling you. So yeah, that was a shitty time, you know, in the downtown. I was lucky. I still, you know, I was not in contact with my family too much, but I still was. Just with my father. My mom had moved away, and I'll tell you a story about that. It's kind of that's it. I'll tell you the story about my mom one time. That's a real thing about how drugs can affect you. Like, seriously, I haven't talked to her, and she's gone now. So, but yeah, little story time with Scotty. Take care. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope the New Year is going to be good for y'all. Thanks.